Yeah, classic radio roundup. You need either a higher sunspot number so we could get some east-west propagation, or we need a lower sunspot number so we don't have none of it.
I would settle for none of the above, I guess. Although it'd be kind of cool if we could get Night Ranger in here, or Fixer, or Mr. Murphy, or one of them semi-regular types.
Well, maybe they'll stop in later, because about this time last night, this is how it was, and later on, it was like 9 o'clock when they came in there. All the junk got out and they came in.
Yeah, we got that storm that's churning around there in the neighborhood of Maryland. It's throwing thunderstorms and stuff up this way. That's going to be having some effect on things too.
Well, there's been some solar activity as of late and geomagnetic activity from a coronal mass ejection solar stream. So that's what most of this is from.
Yeah, I have heard that the sun has been a little more active as of late, which is, I guess, good if you're into Puerto Mexicans.
Well, the thing is, it's been active, but that's only a relative term as compared to other solar cycles.
Well, yeah, everything is relative, because this solar cycle is certainly not comparing to the last couple.
This solar cycle is pathetic. So here it is, Wednesday night, Classic Radio Roundup, 27115 on the AM dial.
Yeah, and my radio needs no introduction.
Well, mine's not a squeaker, so I guess it does. But it is a Class AB push-pull high-level plate modulator.
You're running the Imperial.
Show you right.
You video gating tonight?
Absolutely.
Very good. I want to hear what my Browning sounds like. I can hear the birds chirping outside. Chirp some more. There it is.
Yep, I heard it.
I got a birdie, man. I got a birdie.
Well, I have no birdies. Hey, what's going on? There we go. What's it, dirty contacts or something?
Something's letting go.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's me. I was just going to say, I had this thing on the bench earlier today. Since I got an O-scope again, I ran it on the O-scope and a spectrum analyzer, and I got rid of a couple of little spurs that were in the transmitter. I put them way down. Way down. Not that they were very much present anyway, but I almost got rid of them.
Yeah, I gotta get my spectrum analyzer fixed. I haven't had much time to do any work anyway, but I kind of feel blind without having that.
I felt the same way with the not having the O-scope, but I got the O-scope now. So running 100% modulation on the Imperial with spurs down in the spectrum analyzer noise.
Well, that's certainly better than the specs of the time.
Well, the spurs that I did have when I checked it out were only like a couple of dB above the spectrum analyzer noise floor.
Yeah, because the spec was 45 dB down. I think the newer radios are 60 dB down. But even 45, you can easily see that on the spectrum analyzer display. The noise floor zone, I think, comes in around 60 or 70.
You just saved me having to count blocks on my spectrum analyzer. Yeah, it's probably 60 dB down. It's the only spurs you can see are right there in the spectrum analyzer noise floor.
Yeah, the only spurs you want are the kind that jingle, jangle, jingle. Don't you know?
Yeah, spurs to get my horse a-moving.
And this is Classic Radio Roundup, 27.115 on your AM dial, channel 13. Same time, same channel. Same as it was back in 1979.
Family-friendly radio. You don't have to be embarrassed to have it on.
No, that's right. We are definitely no more than a PG rating here. Speaking of PG ratings, here's a little trivia. Do you remember when it was actually called GP?
No, I can't say I remember GP.
Public. Yeah, I mean, it was one step above G. Basically, the PG rating. They just reversed the letters. Went from GP to PG. Went from general public to parental guidance. Then it came out with PG-13. That was a slightly higher level.
Yeah, I remember when they added that one on, but I don't remember that previous one you were talking about.
Well, that's when they first came out with the rating system. I'm trying to think when that was. That had to be like late 60s or early 70s when they came out with the rating system. The original one was G, GP, R, and X.
Oh, see, you gotta remember, you got a few years a head start on me. So when you're talking around 1970, that's the difference between 5 years old and 10 years old.
Oh, no! Yeah, well, you know what? If you put it that way, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, where we are now, 5 years is nothing. It's meaningless. But the difference between a 5 and a 10-year-old is like night and day.
Yeah, so I was experiencing things in a little bit different light than you were. And Quarter Wave Dave was ahead of both of us, experiencing things completely different from all that.
Yeah, I'm a little bit ahead of you. Yeah, he was still driving around in a 57 Chevy.
Yeah, and my wife was old enough to be my babysitter.
That's bizarre.
Well, think about it. When I was 6, she was 11.
I heard of some creepy guys that marry the babysitter, but not the actual babysittee marrying the babysitter.
Well, she wasn't actually my babysitter, but she would have been in the age bracket to have been, you know. We kind of laugh about that. 5 years don't make any difference now. But, you know, when I was in 7th grade, and let's see, I was in 7th grade, that would have made me, what, 13? And she would have been 18. Oh, yeah, I'd had a snowball's chance in hell of dating her.
But boy, you would have loved to.
Oh, well, yeah. Heck yeah. 13-year-old going out with an 18-year-old, a senior. Woohoo!
Only in his dreams. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely dream material only. There's no self-respecting 18-year-old girl would ever even think about going backwards. They wouldn't go out with a 30-year-old and not a 13-year-old.
That's the funny thing, too, because she says, oh, yeah, at that age, I was dating 20-year-old, not looking at 13.
How about it, cat? Yep. Nah, you know, things change with age.
Well, that's what I was trying to point out. You got to put these things in perspective when you start talking about, you know, when you're going back to, you know, you remember 1968 and 69 a little bit differently than I do.
That's why I've got my first new car. I remember sitting in front of the TV watching the moon landings.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember the moon landing, but I don't, you know, couldn't process it the same.
I had built the whole Saturn V rocket, and I was following along with each stage, man. I was definitely a space cadet then. I was watching Star Trek when it was first run.
Yeah, I got to pick up on Star Trek on the reruns.
My father and I would watch it, you know, during the week when it would come out with a brand new episode.
You couldn't wait for next week to come around back then.
Yeah, for me it was kind of a tough choice though. It was, you know, because Star Trek was up against Batman.
And four.
And then there was Lost in Space. Couldn't miss that one either.
I like watching that one.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Danger! Danger, Will Robinson! Danger, danger, Will Robinson. Yeah, I guess you watched Gilligan's Island first time around too, huh?
Yes, I did.
That was a real good one. Gilligan's Island, Beverly Hillbillies.
Heck, I remember when the Flintstones were on prime time.
Yeah, when I heard that the Flintstones were once a prime time show, I couldn't believe it. But then here you got the Simpsons, and they've been running for a long time.
Yeah, the Flintstones were prime time. They were on like at 8 o'clock or something. They were loosely based on the Honeymooners. To any of us old enough to remember what quality television was like, it's no wonder we tend to thumb our noses at what's on the air today.
That's like it. Why I like to watch that retro TV.
Oh yeah. Well, I get stuff on the internet. I can watch a whole bunch of episodes either on Hulu or one of them places on the internet. They have a lot of shows.
Oh, there's plenty of old-time television you can watch. Pick your show, and it's on there available. I think there was a breaker out there.
Well, if there's a breaker out there, join right in on the classic retro TV radio roundup.
Maybe it was a Skipland breaker, I'm not sure.
Well, if they can hear us and they speak English, they can join right in.
On Classic Radio Roundup.
Where everything old is new again.
Remember My Mother a Car?
Yeah, My Mother a Car. The talking car.
Yeah, where he turned the radio on and it got like shows from back in the day.
Yeah, wasn't Fred McMurray in that?
No, Jerry Van Dyke.
That's right, Jerry Van Dyke. Okay, I was mixing him up, yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That was Fred McMurray.
One I remember was The Ghost and Mrs. Mueller.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was a good one, too.
All them classic Disney movies.
Yeah, Davy Crockett.
Fess Parker.
Shaggy Dog movies. And Love Bug movies.
Yeah, Herbie the Love Bug. Well, on that score, you can go down the Pink Panther series.
Does your dog bite? That's my dog.
Inspector Clouseau.
I went to rent a room. A what? A room.
You remember Mr. Magoo?
Oh, Magoo, you've done it again.
And Ford.
One of my favorite shows was called Combat.
Combat Rat Patrol.
I was just gonna say Rat Patrol.
There was another short-lived spin-off from Combat called Garrison's Guerrillas, but I think it only lasted one season.
And then there was the Foreign Legion.
You remember Circus Boy?
Now that one I don't remember.
Well, that's still on today in reruns on the other one. But the kid that played Circus Boy, he was the drummer for the Monkees.
Mr. Ed. Petticoat Junction.
Mickey Dolenz was the drummer for the Monkees.
That's who played Circus Boy.
Look, alright, I have to say it. He must have been a real clown.
And sure, how about Ring Tin Tin?
Yeah, that I remember. And of course, Petticoat Junction and Green Acres was a spin-off of that.
Lloyd Bridges and Sea Hunt.
That was another one of my favorites. I love that show.
Yeah, that one I remember watching. Lloyd Bridges and Sea Hunt. That was a good show.
And Flipper?
Friday nights was the Rockford Files. Tuesday and Thursday nights was the Waltons.
Oh, hell, Waltons didn't come out till the 70s.
Well, pretty much that's where my memories start. I got, shadier memories prior to 1970, more clear into after 70.
Columbo was a good one too.
Who?
Columbo, Peter Falk.
Yeah, Columbo.
Well, that was all part of that mini mysteries or whatever. They used to rotate Columbo and Banachak and the McMillan and wife
And four.
How about Carl Kolchak and the Night Stalker?
right, Night Stalker, Kojak.
Who loves you, baby?
That's right. Who loves you, baby? Oh, there we go.
That's right. Evening, Dr. Hammer.
Hammer.
Well, good evening, all you doublers.
All those what?
All of us doublers.
So we all doubling?
Evening, Dr. Hammer. Yeah, hello, 44. Yeah, Dave, y'all doubled when you and 44 came back and answered me there.
Hello, Hammer.
Hello, Dave. And I was going to tell you, Survivor tonight, and then Sunday night's the finale. Well, howdy-o. This is the first time I've been anywhere near the computer or the radio in almost a week.
Make sure you got those gains turned up there, Pete. Sounds kind of low. That might be the noise in the background, too.
It's noisy.
Yeah, my internet connection's back to being sucky, Dave. I don't know what's going on with it. This computer, I think, is on its way out. I think it's getting ready to die, and I think I had a heck of a time getting connected tonight.
Well, that ain't no good. You gotta have a good internet connection so you can join in with the group here.
I got a bad jumper in here somewhere, I think.
That's what you said last night.
Oh, that's what they said in Cleveland.
Breaker, breaker, the camel.